Welcome back. Welcome back. Alright. I'm a little late on this one. I had some life bombs happen there. But, old Solar Quester, he's back. He's back and he has a cold. Because the weather is changing. Because we're at the end, we're towards the end of October. But I'm going to see this through. First of all, I want to tell you, I did cut my nails since last video. I hope I did. And because I got to have nice hands since I'm doing most of these videos. You know, with showing my hands off, my beautiful hands. I better make them look good. But yeah, I'm back. I want to see this through. And I also want to say thank you for giving my first video done just almost a little bit more than a year ago now already, 1,000 views, which is awesome. It's great. So that means I got to go back and start making more videos like the first video. But I'm going to see this through because this is a fun, unique little system. And yeah, I think it's going to tie into a lot more cool mythic sessions of, you know, which is going to inspire me to keep crafting and keep creating and keep inspiring me, you know, with my writing and my D&D in general. Solo questing, I tell you, solo questing makes you a better storyteller. It makes you a better DM, makes you a better player. So let's step back into it. We created the character. Oh shucks. Well, that's not good. I'm going to need some dice. So let me pause this and get some dice real quick. Okay, so got my dice, and they just magically appeared. And to add up your hit points in this system, or create your hit points, you add strength with agility, and that gives you your total hit points. How easy is that? So you go down here, which this can all be done on a 3x5 card. 10 hit points. Now, if these tributes seem a little low, considering you're making a tribute checks with 2d6, so they seem a little low. You'll be able to, I believe you're going to be able to make those higher eventually. They have their own level up system, and I really like the uniqueness of the experience points and leveling up. It's really cool. I'll get to that. I got a cold. And yeah. So here they have range, damage, I think capacity. And this is for their own system or whatever system you're going to be going with. So I'm going to be going with basic fantasy and the standard damage that goes with. I believe in their system the damage is like the same every time. It's just the weapons change, but it's the same damage dice. Kind of like old school D&D, or at least white box D&D. And if you roll critical, then you do some more damage. But other than that, just use your own system, whether that's 5th edition D&D or Call Cthulhu, RuneQuest, or what have you. Items, obviously, right there. Now, name, class, and occupation is something that's kind of different. They kind of they want to endorse that a little bit more. And okay, so let me get to the actual, let me reading off this here. Well, first of all, you can pick a specialty class. If you're going to play with the RPG basic system, they have Fighter, Runner, Entertainer, and Scholar, which adds a lot more generalizing to it all. For example, Fighter, you can kind of put it together, but Runner, and it says, I'm reading off the thing on my phone, the rule book. Runners are quick as rabbits and stealthy as ninjas. They are fast in combat, often hard to hit. They are often found working as hunters, trappers, assassins, and thieves. Runners receive a +1 to AGI, so agility. So, yeah. So, I'm picking a class here, and that's kind of like, just like in D&D, you pick a class, it's going to give you certain proficiencies or bonuses. So I'm going to have him be, his specialty class is going to be a runner. Since his agility is high and his intelligence is high, I'm going to make him a runner. So I'm actually going to be combining basic fantasy with this MicroRPG basic for the easiness of this game, to make this a little bit more easier to understand. So yeah, so that means he gets a +1 on agility. So there you go. So that raises my score already a little bit higher to 7. So if I roll 2d6, I got to roll under a 7. So, which I didn't. Yeah, I went over still. So, but still, my odds are still a lot better. Occupation. So here, again, it kind of adds to the background of your story here. It says if you're playing at this style, and this is kind of optional, I believe. But let's see here. Your occupation can be basically anything you can imagine, as long as your GM approves it and it fits in with the theme of the game. So you can choose that profession. Hold on, I was wrong. Additionally, your occupation will give you a second +1 bonus to attribute to one attribute of your choice. The bonus must be in an attribute that makes thematic sense with your occupation. For instance, a barista wouldn't likely have a high AGI score, agility score, since he or she does all they do is stand around and serve drinks. He might, however, have a high charisma because he talks to customers every day. So make sure your GM approves of your chosen occupation and your correlated attribute bonus. After you and the GM have settled on an occupation, record it on your character sheet. Don't forget to add your attribute bonus to your chosen attribute score. So we'll say runner, something to do with agility, and most of the time it's going to be a thief in basic fantasy, but maybe something more specific in this case. So instead of a thief, like an assassin or something like that. But basic fantasy really limits you to only certain classes. So, but this is occupation. So this is going to add to the background story a little bit more. Let's say his occupation. Let's say he's a transporter. He transports goods. Whether that's by hand or feet, horse. He's a personal, a private transporter. So something needs to be delivered to somebody, kind of like a specialty postman, a specialty UPS, you know, a secret, a special forces Amazon type delivery driver. Someone hires him, and they want things kept on the low, and not many people to know about it. He's going to deliver it. So I'm going to give that I would say wisdom maybe, or charisma. I would say maybe more, that would be more wisdom, intelligence, because he would probably know more, he had more experience with the roads, which roads to take, and how to keep himself a low profile, and the best routes and best ways to deliver something. So I'm going to give him a +1 in intelligence there. So his highest attributes went up. I could have given that a strength and say, well, he travels a lot by foot, so that makes him a bit hardier. So that'd be kind of a different slant to it. So there I go. So yeah, already it's differentiating itself from other systems, and I like that. And it says buy equipment. This is you know, if you want to see how much money you have, roll 2d6 or 1/12-sider and multiply it by 20. Okay. All right. 5, 6, 7. 7 times 20 is 140. That's pretty good. 140 gold. So that's easy enough. Again, weapons in range is measured in 3 increments. Short, like a short sword, medium, and long. I would say medium. Well, I don't know if long sword would be medium or long, but short, things like daggers, short swords, I would think. Medium still might be short swords. Long would probably be long swords. Or no, long range. Long sword probably be medium. Range long, they're probably talking about bow and arrow. So go distance. So capacity, like I was talking about before, measures how much ammo fits into a weapon, whether it's bullets or arrows, and into a you know, the thing that carries the arrows, the quiver. Says the second number in parentheses is how many shots are fired in a single attack. I don't see where it says that on here. Once a weapon is empty, it needs to be refilled. Melee weapons do not have a capacity, so a sword would not have a capacity. Cost simply measures how much the item costs to add to your inventory. Again, I don't see that on here, but you could write it on there. Again, damage is a static rating. If a weapon hits, it always deals that much damage. And some weapons also have a critical multiplier next to the damage rating. This is how much extra damage the weapon does to it on a critical success. For example, 2 times 2, or 2 parentheses 2, means that the weapon does 2 times the damage on a critical hit. So there we go. Adding finishing touches. You want to add a few finishing touches. Record any remaining money you haven't spent on your character sheet, which I would use this to buy weapons in basic fantasy. And hit points. Adding your strength and agility together. Oh, I was wrong. So you add your strength and agility, and it says here, and you add 5, you plus 5. So actually 6 plus 4 plus 5 is 15. That's good, because my last guy had 17 hit points, so just 2 below that. Last but not least, pick a name for your character. If you feel so inclined, create a backstory for your character. So that occupation really helped out with his backstory. I like that. And that runner, general term runner, kind of implies that. Maybe he's got to go to places fast. Maybe that's part of his agility and his endurance, is that he has to go to these places fairly quick. So I'll give him a name in the next video, and I'll show you an alternative for using the attribute checks and using cards, which I think is a lot of fun. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Keep solo questing. If you're feeling bummed, do some solo questing. Keep your mind off the negativity. Keep your mind off the problems. Get back to it. Make a video. Draw your character. Write about your character. Get your mind off the bad things that are going on. See you in the next video.